Here we go again. Inaugural by Barry N. Maltzberg and Bill Pronzini. As of course you know, this is my first inauguration, but I certainly hope and pray it will not be my last. So then, here we are. I, Carol, your new president. You, my billions and billions and billions and billions of friends, needful, trustful, loving. It was not 6 months ago, as you'll all remember, that I, as commander of the Skipstone, proudly took us all in spirit to the Centauris, hoping that this resuscitation of the long-abandoned space project would give you unity, would weld together everyone on this globe. This had been done even without my efforts. You have found your unity, and you have delivered unto me as your president, and with that union the clear, high promise of your mandate. Pardon me for this excessive rhetoric. You must surely understand how emotionally moved I am. You must surely understand my emotions on this difficult and poignant occasion, which does not yet lack the promise of joy. I, Carol, 6 months ago, the first female commander of a major spatial probe, now the first female president. I am deeply, universally honored. Again, please, I beg your indulgence. As I look out upon you, out upon all the spaces of the land, the inferences of the landscape expose themselves to me in all their beautiful, broken, blessed glory. An excess of union. This is what I see and what I feel. One of my predecessors said from approximately this same point, many, many years ago, that we gather here not for a victory of party, but a celebration of freedom. Freedom. It is what we seek, and it is what we shall together find. George, please, this is my address. Everyone already knows from your own speech what you intend for us. Everyone already knows only too well, gratefully, of your loyalties as my second-in-command on the Centauri drill, and now as my wonderful and devoted vice president. What they do not know, but what I was and am still about to tell them, is that you have become my husband. No tears, George. No tears for any of us, least of all before our billions and billions and billions and billions of friends. So we must humbly and proudly continue. We must all continue. And that is, of course, what I said to you, my dear brethren, near the turn point of the Centauri run, as we came to settle into single orbit around that doom-stricken and ruined binary. My dear brethren, I said. No, that is not quite right. George, I said, because naturally it was George I was talking to on the Skipstone and not my dear, dear brethren. George, we must carry on. We must successfully complete this mission, not only because all of Earth is counting on us, but because in the joyous accomplishment of this first starflight resides hope for peace. George, I said, George, in the stars, salvation. You may recall, or some of you may recall, that is, you may recall that there were those who laughed. There were those who scorned our great journey. There were those who said that the tachyons were as likely to fail as all the governments, and that if Skipstone did not self-destruct, the governments would, or both. Very difficult for George and myself, as you can imagine. Very difficult. You have been extremely patient, but I promise I will not keep you much longer. Not much longer. Thank you once more for bearing with me, one and all. There is no need for that, George. Stop it, please. Please. Oh, my friends, my cherished friends, you must be able to see how moved is our darling George. But he got hold of himself in Skipstone, and he damned well better get hold of himself here and now. Please, George. We have unity. Unity. A perfect unity which swept us up by unanimous vote. Your unanimous vote and ours. Unity and unanimity. Swept by unanimity just 2 hours later into the offices of President and Vice President of this great land. Swept me into this inaugural. Swept our dear George into tears. Into tears. Swept both of us into matrimony. 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 For what we face here, George, please, please, God. What we face here, charred and empty. In Babylon there are many gardens. Gomorrah knew greatness in its time. But we both are. No, not that. We are not that. My name is Carol. Yours is George. Carol and George, President and Vice President, First Lady and First Man.